Hey again, guys. So doing another video talking about our family and our three little boys. Wanted to talk a little bit more about our family, not just, about how our children, eventually were diagnosed being on the autism spectrum. That's only a fraction of our family story. So I just kind of wanted to talk a little bit more about our kiddos and share the beautiful insight of them. And I'm going to try my darndest to, edit and all that kind of stuff. I'm still a beginner at all this, so bear with me. And I'm doing it in a horizontal view this time, and I'm trying to make sure that I look right where I'm supposed to. That's really hard. Okay, so where to start? Okay, so Stephen and I were married in 2008. We had Stevie in 2010, Mason in 2013, and Sawyer in 2015. We did all of that in our 20s. So I told my mother that I wanted, when Steve and I got married, that I wanted us to have all of the children, the childbearing done by the time I was 30, and I had it done when I was 27. So I met that goal. Not that having children in your 30s is anything wrong. I just wanted to be able to have them as soon as possible because my thing is popping up on my computer. What is that? I don't know what that is. I wanted to be able to have them soon because we really wanted kids and I didn't want to wait. So yeah, that was why. No, no issues with having them in, 30s and beyond that. But for me personally, I just wanted to have them sooner. So yeah, we had them within 5 years from the time we had Stevie to when we had Sawyer, 5 years. So it really does not look like a long time span of when we had kids. So that's okay. I'm thankful that I have been able to enjoy my kids and just be home. I'm a stay-at-home mom, and so I get to enjoy being with them all the time, even though, of course, some days I'm not too thankful on those really tough days, but I'm thankful that I'm given the opportunity to be here regardless of the good and the bad. So, yeah, so that's a little bit about our family, of how it started when we had kids. I'm a stay-at-home mom. I did work, well, I did work off and on. I'll say that when we got pregnant with Stevie, I did not work until he was 1. So I had worked up until I was pregnant with him, and then I did not work throughout my pregnancy and through his first year. I actually went back to work 2 days after his first birthday. So, and that was really hard. But we had to make that decision, Stephen and I, to do that. And we were very, very blessed to have family, to take care of him during the day. So yeah, so I worked with him. When we were trying for Mason, I was working. And when it was maybe a month before we found out we were pregnant with Mason, I'd actually gotten laid off. So I didn't work throughout my pregnancy with him. It's it's kind of funny. Each time that I've gotten pregnant with one of our kids, I've either stopped working right before that to enjoy the pregnancy, or it was kind of an, you know, incidental thing where I didn't plan it and I got to be at home during my pregnancy. And then I went back to work for a short time, for about almost a year, when Mason was 3 months old. And then, yeah. So for almost a year, it was like just shy of 11 months that I worked. And we decided that I needed to be home. It was, you know, the cost of having, you know, in-home care for, you know, which it was just a regular like nanny type deal. So, but the cost of that just outweighed me working. So that was when we decided that I needed to be a full stay-at-home mom. So from there, that's what I did. And when we were trying to get pregnant with Sawyer, I was at home. Hey, buddy, what's up?
I would like, because I love you.
Okay, I love you too. Can you lay down and be quiet, please?
I'm making a new video.
Yeah, but you gotta be. I know.
Sorry about last time.
It's okay, but can you be quiet, please?
I never knew.
Look. Thank you. Thank you. That's Stevie. Yeah, so when I got pregnant with Sawyer, I was already at home with 2 little ones, and yeah. So Steven, he works away from home. He's gone anywhere from 2 to 3 weeks at a time, and then he comes home, you know, for normally the usual is 6 to 7 days a month. So he's a long haul truck driver. He drives a tanker, one of the ones that hauls dangerous chemicals and stuff like that across the country, and he works very hard to be able to support our family and the needs of our children, so that we can have, you know, good health care and be able to afford our living and all of that, and me be able to remain at home to take care of them. So it's a huge blessing how hard he works. So yeah, we have generally lived in the state of North Carolina. We lived in South Carolina briefly for a time, for a few years, but generally it's been in North Carolina. My husband's job is in Tennessee, so we will be eventually moving. We're kind of in limbo between 2 states right now, so but by next summer, Tennessee will be our new home. And that's exciting and also terrifying at the same time, because there's a lot of changes that go along with that. We, you know, for those that don't know, when you have a child with a disability, regardless if it's autism or not, there's a lot of factors that go into it for healthcare and for therapies and schools and things like that. And so luckily we homeschool our children, but Sawyer is still needs to have all of his services. So his speech, his occupational, and ABA. Here, where we are right now in North Carolina, we're on a wait list for ABA. The closest ABA center here has a wait list for close to 2 years. For one-on-one. They have a clinic that they do kind of like a group setting of ABA therapy. It's kind of like a classroom style setting, but their classes are already full. They were full before we even moved here. So it's crazy how we actually, I said in the last video that we were on the wait list for where we lived right before we moved here for this short span of time that we're going to be here. We moved to be closer to my parents so that I can have, you know, a little bit of help from time to time. But from where we lived, we had just been accepted literally the month we were moving for ABA therapy, but we couldn't you know, go on to it because we had to guarantee that we were going to be there for 6 months, and we couldn't do that. So that just unfortunately didn't work. So Sawyer has not had ABA therapy yet. We have been searching and looking, and sadly right now we're just having to have him on a wait list. And there's a lot of other parents out there that know what I'm talking about, having your kiddos on wait lists, not just for ABA therapy, but for any other sort, you know, of therapy for autism. There's just not enough facilities and specialists and therapists and centers and things like that yet. There are a lot more of them now, yes, than 10 years ago, but there's still just not enough. So the wait lists seem endless right now. But we're hoping that either a cancellation happens while we're here and we can take advantage of ABA while we're here for this next little under a year. If not, we're already looking into ABA therapists and clinics and centers in Tennessee, where we'll be moving next summer, and getting him on the list for there. So it's just a long process to try to do that. But it's so worth it. It's so worth making sure that our kids have everything that they need. I'm actually taking a break from, you know, dealing with insurance and trying to make sure that, you know, things are billed properly and billed in the correct order. And, you know, it's a headache some days, most days, but it's so important to do this for them because they need it and they deserve it. They deserve to have any and every opportunity to be able to succeed in life, and that's what we as parents are supposed to do. We're supposed to guide them and direct them and you know, lend our hand in helping them to get them everything that they need. So the same rule applies with autism parents. Sometimes our road is just a little bit bumpier, but it's still worth it. So that's a little bit more about our family and the current situation that I'm dealing with right now, trying to get him in with ABA therapy. We'll fill you in more, you know, as the thoughts and ideas come to my head. If you guys have any questions or comments or anything, make sure you just put them down there under the video, and I'll be sure to answer them in the next video. And be sure to hit the subscribe button if you haven't, and we look forward to talking to you guys again soon. Okay, bye guys.